275. They need any assistance up there?
Please, I want to go back there.
You need assistance up there, 275?
I'm gonna pull this out. 1, 2, 3.
78 negative. We're just going to
Pull this out. Listen.
No, please, I want to go back there.
Please, I want to go back to Earth. She says it over and over, dozens of times, while officers try to restrain her on the side of Interstate 275 in Ohio, while paramedics work around her, while a lieutenant tries, gently, to get her name. She doesn't give it. She gives the same 9 words, again and again, with the conviction of someone who believes them completely. Please, I want to go back to Earth. In a few hours, she will be charged with aggravated murder. In a few months, a forensic psychiatrist will tell a judge she cannot stand trial. In a year, she will stand before that same judge and speak, clearly, remorsefully, in full sentences, about the person she killed. The person she killed was her mother. And that mother's husband, the man who had been married to her for 43 years, will stand in that same courtroom and ask the judge to go easy on the daughter who did it. That is where this story ends. But to understand how a family arrives at that moment, you have to go back to the beginning, to a quiet street in Loveland, Ohio, on a warm June morning, to a neighbor's doorbell camera, to a black Acura, and to a decade of warning signs that a broken system chose over and over again not to answer. June 15th, 2024. The 1100 block of Deer Haven Court in Loveland, Ohio, is the kind of street where you can hear a lawnmower 3 houses down. Quiet, residential, the kind of neighborhood where nothing much happens. And that's precisely the point.
June 15th, 2024, Loveland, Ohio. The 1100 block of Deer Haven Court is the kind of street where you can hear a lawnmower 3 houses down. But on this afternoon, what the neighbors hear instead is something else entirely. 2 women in the midst of a loud, very public argument. It's Joyce Mallette and her 23-year-old daughter, Anna.
The evening before, a neighbor's doorbell camera had captured something unusual. 2 women, Joyce Mallette, 64 years old, and her youngest daughter, Anna, 23, in the middle of a loud, public argument on the front lawn. Joyce told Anna to pack her things. Anna pushed back. Joyce held firm. The argument dissolved the way arguments like that usually do, with one person leaving and both people still carrying it.
Go look in your room. Go look wherever you left your stuff. Go. Because if that's the car, I have no idea where you put your shit. I'm not in charge. I don't want anything to do with you. Go in the house and get the fuck out. Pack your shit. I will drop you off at the homeless shelter. Pack your shit. I need another part of my ID. Why? You got an ID in there. Go ahead.
Joyce won the battle. Anna left, but she didn't go far, and she didn't let it go. The following morning, just after 8 a.m., a neighbor called police. She had seen something that didn't make sense. A woman on foot, ducking behind trees, a black Acura following her. Not the way a car follows a road, the way a car follows a person.
Joyce won the battle and Anna left the scene. But for Anna, the clash was far from over. Their next encounter would be their last. The following morning, around 8 a.m., a neighbor called police to report she had seen something disturbing. A woman on foot, ducking behind trees, being pursued by a younger woman in a black Acura. Moments later,
Within minutes, officers were on scene at Deer Haven Court. What the radio traffic captured tells you everything you need to know about what they found.
So, had a crash in Deer Haven Court. Otherwise, vehicle is chasing her female neighbor. A black Acura vehicle ran into a garage, horn sounding. I don't know if anybody's injured.
A vehicle had been used as a weapon. Joyce Mallette had been pinned against the wall of her own garage. Officers on scene didn't know yet if the woman inside could be saved. They called for EMS immediately. They told her to stay with them. They asked her name.
They're all right? Pinned against the wall. Go in there. I don't know if she's hot or crazy or what. She's saying she's
Mary
got to get back to
16, we
Earth.
have somebody pinned against the wall.
Go in reverse and back up. This lady over here is pinned.
All right, stand right here. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
She couldn't answer.
Mary 16, she's fleeing. Mary 16, have EMS respond in now. Ma'am? All right, can't move. Okay, stay with me, okay? What's your name?
Joyce Mallette was transported to a local hospital in critical condition. 2 officers sustained minor injuries in the chaos. And a BOLO, that stands for Be on the Lookout, a law enforcement alert broadcast to officers in the area with a description of a suspect or vehicle, went out for Anna's black Acura.
Joyce Mallette was rushed to a local hospital, listed in critical condition. The first 2 officers to arrive sustained minor injuries in the chaos, and a BOLO went out for Anna's black Acura. Meanwhile, back at the house, an officer pulled the only eyewitness aside to take a statement.
With as much detail what you saw.
They didn't have to wait long.
Nearly 10 minutes later, Anna was spotted on I-275, and a high-speed pursuit unfolded.
One into a guardrail.
Nearly 10 minutes after the crash at Deerhaven Court, Anna Mallette was spotted on Interstate 275. What followed was a high-speed pursuit. Officers pursued her across the bridge. She struck a guardrail. And when she was finally stopped and pulled from the vehicle, the woman officers encountered was not someone who had just fled a crime scene. She was somewhere else entirely.
I'm serious,
Have a seat in the car. Anna,
No,
get in the
please,
car.
I want to
Have
go
a
back
seat.
to Earth.
Have a seat in the car.
Please, I've been abducted by aliens.
Okay, let's have a seat in the
I
car.
want to go back to Earth. Please, no,
In the
please.
car.
Anna, have a
Please,
seat.
I want to go back to Earth.
No, don't fall down.
Please, I want to go back to Earth. Please, I'm scared. I want to go back to Earth.
Okay, thanks.
Please, I want to go back to Earth. Over and over, while officers tried to get her name, while paramedics worked, while a lieutenant, patient and careful, tried to make contact. I've been abducted by aliens. She told officers an FBI agent named Stephen Gauthier had contacted her. She said he was not human. She said he transforms. She said she had already died. Now, and this is important, legally. Note what happens next. A detective reads Anna her Miranda rights and begins asking questions. Miranda rights are the warnings you've heard on every police procedural. The right to remain silent, the right to an attorney, the right to have one appointed if you cannot afford one. Officers are required to give these warnings before a custodial interrogation. They are not required to first determine whether the suspect is mentally capable of understanding them. This is not a loophole or a failure. It is how the system is designed to work. Officers don't have the authority to declare someone legally incompetent. That determination belongs to the court, not the street. So the detective reads the rights, notes that Anna acknowledged them, and begins asking questions, even as Anna continues to describe alien abductions in between her answers. Why? Because officers are trained to listen for anything that can be independently verified. A name, a place, a timeline. Even statements that are later thrown out, excluded from trial because of a rights violation or questions about voluntariness, don't automatically contaminate everything that follows. The legal term for that contamination is fruit of the poisonous tree. It means evidence that grows from an illegal action is itself tainted. But if Anna's statements are excluded, and the physical evidence, the doorbell footage, the crash scene, the eyewitness, the tire tracks, stands independently, the case does not collapse. The detective is building insurance, not extracting a confession.
Talk to your lawyer. Do you understand your rights? Yeah, I already got it. So I just want to know what happened this morning. What's going on?
Hours later, Miami Township Police confirmed what everyone already feared. Joyce Ann Mallette had succumbed to her injuries. She was 64 years old. Her family described a woman who grew daylilies in her garden and spent her quiet hours devoted to the cause of saving the monarch butterfly. She had raised 5 children. She had been married to the same man for 4 decades. She was, by every account, a woman who spent her life taking care of things. Her family, her plants, the small, overlooked things that most people walk right past. Anna Mallette was now facing charges of aggravated murder, 2 counts of felonious assault on a peace officer, and failure to comply, Ohio's statute for fleeing police after being ordered to stop. The last charge carries its own weight, but it's the first one that would define what came next. Aggravated murder in Ohio is about as serious as a criminal charge gets. It means the state believes the killing was purposeful and deliberate, not accidental, not impulsive in a legally mitigating sense, but planned or carried out with specific intent to cause death. The state was saying Anna Mallette woke up that morning and decided to kill her mother.
After receiving treatment for her injuries, Anna initially faced charges of aggravated murder, 2 counts of felonious assault on a peace officer, and failure to comply, Ohio's statute for fleeing from police after being ordered to stop. Hours later, Miami Township Police confirmed what everyone feared.
But here is where the law gets complicated. And here is where this case takes a turn that most people watching would not see coming. Before any trial can begin, before a single witness takes the stand, before a single piece of evidence is presented to a jury, the court must first answer a foundational question. Is the defendant competent to stand trial? Competency is not the same as sanity. This is a distinction that matters enormously, and most people get it wrong. Sanity, or more precisely, the insanity defense, is about what a person knew and felt at the moment they committed an act. It asks, did they understand what they were doing? Did they know it was wrong? It is a defense, something raised at trial, and it places the defendant's mental state at the time of the crime at the center of the argument. Competency is about right now. It asks, can this person understand the charges against them? Can they meaningfully assist their own attorney in building a defense? Can they follow what is happening in a courtroom? If the answer is no, trial cannot proceed. Not because the person is innocent, but because proceeding against someone who cannot understand or participate in their own defense violates the most basic principles of due process. Due process, the constitutional guarantee that the government must follow fair procedures before depriving a person of liberty, is not a technicality. It is the foundation that every other legal protection rests on. The court ordered a forensic psychiatric evaluation of Anna Mallette. That evaluation was conducted by Dr. Laura Davis of Southern Ohio Forensic Evaluation Services. Her report came back in August 2024.
And Dr. Laura Davis with the Southern Ohio Forensic Evaluation Services has completed that evaluation. She submitted a report to the court earlier this week, and a copy of that report has been provided to counsel prior to the hearing. And consequently, we're here to deal with that report. And I will indicate that Dr. Davis has determined that currently Ms. Mallette is not competent to stand trial. She is not currently stable enough to understand the charges and the nature of the offenses. She is also not competent to meaningfully assist her counsel in her defense.
And this is the moment everything shifted.
That Dr. Davis has determined that currently Ms. Mallette is not competent to stand trial. She is not currently stable enough to understand the charges and the nature of the offenses. She is also not competent to meaningfully assist her counsel in her defense.
This is also the moment I want you to stop and think about something, because it matters beyond this case. How many times had Anna Mallette been brought to the mental health system before June 15th, 2024? Her ex-boyfriend, Timothy Escobar, who Anna had struck with a car years earlier and who still bore the stitches to prove it, told reporters that Joyce had tried, multiple times, to have Anna admitted to psychiatric care.
I spoke with neighbors who said this isn't the first time they saw Mallette hitting someone with a car. They say a few years ago she hit her boyfriend with a car. Today I spoke with that boyfriend who confirmed she has hit him with a car. However, he says he doesn't blame her.
She wasn't herself, really. Her mental health was just bad. It wasn't really, I don't know. I didn't take it to heart too much.
The hospitals stopped taking her.
Mom tried admitting her to the mental hospital a bunch of times, but they quit taking her. And when there's clearly something wrong, she's seeing stuff and hearing stuff.
And did you notice anything was off?
No, yeah, she definitely something off. She's been off for the past 2 months.
The system that is supposed to catch people before they fall had looked at Anna Mallette and, more than once, declined to hold her. Is that a system failure, or is it a capacity problem? And does it matter which one it is when the outcome is the same? Put that question in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. In the August 2024 hearing, Judge Nagel read the results of Dr. Davis's evaluation into the record. The conclusion was unambiguous. Anna Mallette was not competent to stand trial. She was not stable enough to understand the nature of the charges against her. She was not capable of meaningfully assisting her attorneys in her own defense. Trial was suspended. Anna was ordered into treatment. Here is what that means in practice. When a defendant is found incompetent, they are not released. They are typically transferred to a secure psychiatric facility where they receive treatment, medication, therapy, structured intervention, with the goal of restoring their competency. This process is called competency restoration. It can take months. In some cases, it takes years. If competency cannot be restored within a legally defined window, the state may eventually have to dismiss the charges entirely, though in serious cases like this one, that outcome is rare. Months passed. Treatment continued. And eventually, Anna Mallette became competent. Which brings us to the plea. Rather than proceed to trial on the aggravated murder charge, a charge that could have resulted in life imprisonment, the state and defense reached an agreement. Anna pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and felonious assault. This is a plea deal, also called a plea agreement. It means the defendant agrees to plead guilty to reduced or specific charges in exchange for the state dropping others or agreeing to a sentencing cap. Involuntary manslaughter in Ohio means causing the death of another as the proximate result of committing a felony offense, not with the specific intent to kill, but through dangerous conduct that resulted in death. The aggravated murder charge, the one requiring proof that Anna intended to kill her mother, was off the table. The sentencing range before Judge Nagel was now 21 to 47 years. And this is where this case becomes something it was never quite going to be before. Not just a criminal proceeding, not just a tragedy, but a moment of extraordinary human complexity, standing in the middle of a courtroom, asking a judge to hold two truths at once. Richard Mallette stepped forward. He was Joyce's husband, her high school sweetheart, married for 43 years, the father of 5 children, including the daughter who had just pleaded guilty to killing the woman he had spent his entire adult life beside. He did not ask for the maximum sentence. He asked for mercy.
Go ahead, sir. Honorable Judge Nagel. My name is Richard Mallette, and I speak on behalf of my family. Joyce was my high school sweetheart, my wife, and the love of my life. We grew up together, married for 43 years, raised 5 beautiful children, 4 daughters and 1 son. This past year has been profoundly...
He told Judge Nagel that Joyce had spent nearly a decade fighting to get Anna help, that she had run into limited access to care, systemic delays, a patchwork of services that never added up to sustained treatment, that the failures of the mental health system had contributed significantly to the tragedy that took her life. He said Joyce's death was not an act of malice. He said it was the result of an acute psychotic episode in which Anna had lost touch with reality. He said his family did not view Anna as a criminal. They viewed her as someone who desperately needed help that the system had never provided. He asked the court to give her that help instead of decades of prison. Let that sit for a moment. A man who lost his wife of 43 years, standing in a courtroom, asking a judge to be lenient on the person who killed her.
There is no legal term for what that is. There is no procedural category that captures it. It is simply a man trying to hold his family together in the only way he has left. Then it was Anna's turn. The right of allocution, the defendant's legal right to speak directly to the court before sentencing, is one of the oldest procedural protections in American criminal law. It exists for exactly this reason. Because before a judge permanently alters the course of a human life, that human being deserves to be heard, not through attorneys, not through documents, directly. Anna Mallette spoke clearly.
Thank you, Ms. Mallette. Anything you wish to say on your own behalf?
Yes. First, I'd like to say I have lots of remorse for what happened and regret what happened. Never again will I commit any crime. Losing my mom was the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I cry daily. I love my mom dearly. At the time of the events, I was suicidal and in psychosis. This was a horrible accident. This event has deeply affected me, and I had a major wake-up call that I need to take care of my mental health and make better decisions. Furthermore,
she said she had lots of remorse. She said losing her mother was the worst thing that had ever happened to her. She said she cried daily. She acknowledged that at the time of the events, she was suicidal and in psychosis. She called what happened a horrible accident. She said an innocent life was lost. She said her mother did not deserve it. She said she would do anything to get her back. And then she said something that landed differently than anything else in the proceeding. Losing my freedom is a small price to pay compared to losing my mom. She also told the court she had a daughter now, a child born during the time between the crime and the sentencing. She said she wanted to be reunited with her one day. She said she wanted to make a positive impact instead of a negative one. She asked for forgiveness. Judge Nagel chose the minimum, 21 to 26 years. Not 47. Not the maximum the law allowed. The floor. It is a sentence that reflects the forensic evaluation, the guilty plea, the father's statement, and the documented mental health history that stretches back years before June 15, 2024. It is a sentence that declines to treat Anna Mallette as someone who woke up one morning and chose to commit murder. It is a sentence that holds her accountable while acknowledging that the line between intent and illness is not always clean. Whether you believe that sentence is just, whether you believe 21 years is too much or not enough, alone in September 2023, #aliens 3 days before the killing, and a world that did not know what to do with either message. If you ever find yourself navigating the legal system, as a defendant, as a victim, as a family member, as someone trying to get help for a person you love, know this: competency and sanity are not the same thing. Know that a plea deal is not an admission of maximum guilt. It is a negotiated resolution. Know that a judge's sentencing decision is not arbitrary. It is constrained by statutory ranges, informed by evaluations, and shaped by everything that happens in that courtroom before the gavel falls. And know that sometimes the most legally correct outcome and the most humanly painful outcome are exactly the same sentence. 21 years. The prison Anna Mallette walks into was decided by Judge Nagel. But there is another one no judge sentenced her to, no parole board can release her from. The kind built out of memory. Whatever clarity returns to her over the next 2 decades, she will have to live with the knowledge that the person she killed was her own mother.
That is a sentence no one can shorten.